Hello, and welcome to Killers Quarterly, a special edition episode of Crack Sisters Conspiracies. While we generally talk about conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all over spooky shit, we will be changing it up and talking about something different today, serial killers. My name is Cassandra,
And I'm Jackie.
and we are said sisters.
Beautifully said.
Okay. Ow.
And you're out of view.
God damn it.
Within
Well, it's
one
like,
second.
I know. Okay, here, that's better. I'll sit and try not to move too much. I
Okay.
naturally lean to the side. Anyway, how's it going?
Good, I'm tired now.
You seem like all of your energy has been
Very
sapped.
sunny. I
Yes,
took all my energy.
you took a nice long walk with your niece. I almost called her your nephew. I don't know why I paused on
Maybe
that.
one day, but no.
Maybe you can take a little nap after
Ooh,
this.
maybe.
I think that's what Evan's doing right
He
now.
is. I heard him.
I have. So Killers Quarterly.
Yes.
Yeah, so every couple of months we do a special episode where each of us talk about a different serial
Yeah.
killer or someone. So, who are you doing?
I'm doing Alexander Pichushkin,
Who?
the chessboard killer.
Oh,
Who are you doing?
the Giggling Granny.
Oh, I've actually heard of that. Okay, that's fun.
Uh, let's see. Yeah, so we did not coordinate on what we were doing. We only
No,
just now
correct, yeah.
found out.
And well,
So,
we checked to make sure we weren't doing the same person.
yeah, and I was fairly confident that even if we didn't check in with each other, we would have been fine.
Sure.
But yes, so for my topic, I chose Nannie Doss, aka the Giggling Granny. So, I don't know what it is about the thought of like this old like granny, like how we dressed in Vegas,
Yes.
like it's killing people and like laughing about it. That's I don't think really like the image that is reflective of her, but it's just very funny.
Yeah, definitely.
But you have heard of her.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know a lot or you just heard about her in general?
I listened to this story covered by a different podcast a while ago. I don't really remember a whole lot of the specifics though.
Okay. For the record, I was actually very disappointed to learn that she did not actually do a lot of giggling
Oh.
when killing. She was just like generally a seemingly happy woman,
Okay.
but I still don't know why.
Who's a murderer?
And especially when we learn about like her relationships and stuff, I'm like, there's nothing that would outwardly suggest that this woman should be happy.
Oh,
But anyway, Nancy Doss, formerly Nancy Hazel, was born in 1905 in Alabama.
okay.
So we're off to a good start there. Unsurprisingly, she was raised in a super poor and also super strict household, so very like authoritative,
Hmm.
strict religious household. Given that it is the South and the early 1900s, I don't know that there would be any other life that she could have expected to
Yeah, right.
live. Like, that's just what you get. She was one of five kids, having one brother and three sisters.
Okay.
Her father was just like the most awesome man in the whole world. He was initially a railroader, but he transitioned to running the family farm when
Hmm.
Nanny was in her teens. He was incredibly overbearing, controlling, and abusive,
Oh no.
and the hatred for the man was something that was like a driving force for Nanny
Oh,
over
okay.
time. And it's also something that her and her mother had bonded over how much they hate this man together.
Love that for them.
So her father, James, he thought it would be best if all of the kids just stayed home and worked for the family farm, wouldn't let them go to school and learn, like anything, like incredibly sheltered, like
Gosh.
child labor, you're just gonna go
Yeah.
work the yard the whole time. The daughters obviously bore the brunt of him being an over-controlling guy because the one son naturally would get, more leniency
Oh
and
yeah.
attention. He forbade them from wearing any makeup or clothing that might be considered attractive, as he felt it would be a good deterrent for other men and they wouldn't molest his kids.
I mean, I'm
I,
with them on that, I guess.
Sure. And like my initial thought was, well, why are you thinking about that? Like, are you a bad man?
Oh,
But shockingly, there aren't any reports of him molesting
okay.
his own children, which is a relief.
That's good.
Yeah, because I didn't expect it to break that way. Her childhood was rough and sounded like it sucked.
Yeah.
So, as a means of escape, she would often read her mother's romance magazines and fantasize about what life could be like, in this other alternate universe.
Oh, okay.
So, considering she wasn't allowed to interact with anyone outside the family, daydreaming was all she could do. There was like no chance she was ever going to meet someone.
I know. God.
It does not surprise me in the least bit that by the time she was 16, she was roaring and ready to go and married her first
Oh,
husband,
wow.
a man named Charlie Braggs, who was her co-worker at the linen factory because she was able to at least move on from running the family farm
Oh,
and got a
good.
real
Got
job.
out into the world a little bit.
And shockingly, her father gave his blessing for this marriage after they dated for 4 months.
Wow. At
Yes,
16.
at 16. Unfortunately for Nannie, her new husband was the only son of a single mother, and her new mother-in-law decided that she was going to live with
Oh
them
my God.
after they got married.
Okay.
So this arrangement sucked, as
Yeah.
one would
Don't live with your
imagine.
mother-in-law.
Don't live with your parents longer than you need to.
Exactly.
I understand it's a necessity sometimes these days, but avoid it as much as you can once you're
Yeah.
an adult.
Or if you're like married.
Yeah, that really, that's a lot of stress on the
It is.
relationship.
You gotta form your own shit.
Would not recommend. She became very controlling, her being the mother-in-law,
Uh-huh.
and tried to lord over Nanny's activities and regularly demanded attention from her son.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
not surprising at all. Somehow they managed to find time to produce four daughters
Jesus.
over the span of 4 years, even with his mother. Like,
Oh
yeah,
my
just
God.
bam, bam, bam. So this, like everything else in her life, stressed Nanny the fuck out,
You don't say.
as it would. And so naturally, she started drinking quite a bit to deal with the stress. And her what used to be casual smoking habit became a full-blown addiction.
Oh
So,
gosh. Okay.
she just went off the deep end of it.
Yeah.
It did not help that both Nanny and her husband had side pieces and then started becoming suspicious of each other after some time. So there's everything that could go wrong in this relationship was.
My goodness.
Because no marriage can go on without heaps of trauma, Nanny and Charlie ended up losing their two middle daughters in what was suspected to be a food poisoning
Oh
incident.
my gosh.
Yeah. Charlie started to lose it a little bit and decided that he was going to take his eldest daughter, Melvina.
Beautiful.
Yes, love it. And bounce. So he's like, this is my golden child
So he just
now.
picked a kid
He
that's his
picked
favorite.
one and then left. He left behind his newborn daughter, whose name was Florine, with Nanny and his mother. So
Oh my God. Not only did this poor woman get left by her husband, who also stole a kid of hers, but he's like, you can keep the mother-in-law that you never wanted.
yes, along with the newborn that
And
you
your
just
baby. Oh my God. I would just kill myself.
Luckily for Nanny, though, her mother-in-law died not much later, and she was then free to be a single mother to now only one child.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of stress was removed from her life.
True that.
She just had to go through a lot. Her piece of shit husband eventually did come back, though, with their other kid once he found someone new to bed down with and wanted a divorce. And since the new woman that he was interested in had a kid of her own, he decided he didn't need Melvina anymore
Oh my
and
fucking
gave her
God.
back to Nanny.
These poor kids.
Not too long after her divorce from Charlie, because they did get divorced,
Okay.
thank God, she met and married her second husband, Robert Frank Harrelson. He was a total creeper. He was an alcoholic with a rap sheet, but she ended up sticking with him for 16 years, so
Jesus.
she didn't seem to mind it too
Okay.
much. After Nanny's eldest daughter, Melvina, grew up, she ended up having a few kids of her own, which were Nanny's grandchildren.
Yes.
And so her first grandchild was born in 1943,
Okay.
with another born about 2 years later.
Okay.
So the second grandbaby didn't make it very long, though, and unfortunately died shortly after birth.
Oh.
Her daughter, who was beyond exhausted from labor and delivery of her second child, and she was also high as a kite because they gave you like drugs for childbirth back then. She swore that she saw her mom stick a hat pin into the newborn baby's head. So she asked her husband about it, and he said that Nanny had told him that the baby had died, but said that he didn't notice that like his mother-in-law, or was it his mother-in-law? No,
Yes.
that his mother-in-law was holding a pin. He thought that was odd, but the doctors couldn't confirm anything either.
Okay.
But it's believed that Nanny like legit unalived her grandchild, just like
Good.
soft spot right in there, pierce the brain,
Okay.
Naturally, Melvina's relationship with her husband suffered after the
Yeah.
loss of their child, and they kind of went their separate ways.
Hmm.
She ended up dating a soldier, but Nannie was not a fan of this guy.
Okay.
So, Nannie and Melvina had gotten into an argument, and Melvina needed some space. So she left to go visit her dad, which why would you go hang out with that piece of shit who just like left you?
Yeah.
And she left her remaining son, Robert, with Nannie to watch while she was away.
Okay.
Robert mysteriously died
Oh my
in
fucking
Nannie's
God.
care due to asphyxia from an unknown cause.
Jesus.
2 months later, Nannie collected $500 from life insurance that she had taken out on her grandson.
That's not suspicious at all.
Don't be suspicious. Within a very short time following the death of her grandson, Nannie alleged that her husband had raped her. So the next day, she straight up put rat poison in his whiskey and he died.
God.
Nannie would continue on to collect husbands like Thanos collects Infinity Stones. Husband number three was a man named Arlie Lang. She met him through a Lonely Hearts column in the newspaper where it's like, I'm single, woman,
Oh,
living in this area, looking for love kind of thing. She met him and married him 3 days later.
wow.
Their marriage was relatively uneventful, up until he died of what was claimed as heart failure, and she received lots of community support
I'm
after the
sure she
fact,
did.
lots of attention. Not too long after his funeral, their homes.
I'm gonna die. Hold on. They spit on you?
No, I got an arm hair.
I like threw up a little bit.
Ew. Are
Alex,
you your dog?
Alex, Alex and I call them baby burps, where you burp but you vomit a little bit.
It's
You not have
disgusting.
that?
I mean, yes, I've experienced it, but ugh.
Spicy. Okay.
So, not too long after husband number three's funeral, their home suddenly burned down, and
Who was
Nannie,
in it?
no one,
Oh,
but Nannie collected some nice insurance from it.
okay.
Coincidentally, her other mother-in-law died in her sleep shortly after. So Nannie decided it was time to start over somewhere new. She's like,
I've killed everyone in this town. I gotta
right.
move to a different one.
Let's go find a new location. So she went to visit her sister Dovey, who happened to be bedridden.
Okay.
So after a suspiciously short amount
Sounds
of
like Shelby didn't last very long.
following her arrival, her sister
Jesus
died.
fucking Christ.
Not one to be alone for long,
Uh-huh.
she joined a dating service where she met husband number four. She had a habit of finding men that couldn't keep it in their pants, and this guy was no different. Not long into their marriage, Nannie's mother ended up moving in with them, but Nannie was not having it because she's already had
Yeah.
that shit
So
show
many
in her
mothers.
life
Yeah.
before. So she ended up poisoning her mother.
Like, well,
Husband ended up succumbing to the same fate a mere 3 months later as well.
wow.
Her fifth
Jesus
husband
fucking Christ.
was a bit different. He was a minister who had previously been married with a family, but they all perished tragically in a
Oh
tornado.
my God, did she meet her exact duplicate?
He was a bit uptight. He was kind of like her father because everyone with daddy issues
Yeah.
gravitates towards that. And he didn't approve of the romance novels and the things that Nannie liked and enjoyed.
Okay.
So he, again, very strict, just like daddy.
Yeah.
So not one to be bossed around though, because she ain't taking shit from anyone. Her husband found himself in the hospital with flu-like
You
symptoms,
don't say.
but he survived.
Oh, she was unsuccessful.
He was treated and released about a month later, and then a week after returning home, he died. She was chomping at the bit to collect the insurance policy. She had two
Wow.
life insurance policies on him, and then she wanted to get the fuck out
Yeah.
of there.
And then start over. Husband number
Yes,
six.
it's been working out for her. She's kind of like Debbie from
Yes, from Addams Family.
Yeah. His doctor caught wind of what she was doing, though, and ended up ordering an autopsy on him, where it was learned that he had a massive amount of arsenic built up in his system.
That'll do it.
So the doctor ended up ratting her out, and she was quickly arrested, as he should.
Yeah, right?
Nannie confessed to killing four of her husbands, along with her mother, sister, grandson, and mother-in-law, though the actual body count was likely higher, somewhere around 11, but she was never charged for those
Got
other
it.
deaths. She pled guilty and received life in prison rather than the death penalty
Okay.
since she was a woman and she was viewed as a sweet old lady.
Yeah.
So they took pity on her. And then she ended up dying in prison in 1965 from leukemia.
That's what you get.
That's what you get. Imagine hating everyone in your life so much that you just have to kill them all
Yeah,
off.
that's like there's not one person you liked. I feel like she was purposefully picking men she didn't like so she could like have an excuse to kill them.
Yeah, and I should have done the present value calculation to see what all of that life insurance that she got was
You
worth
should have. I'm sure
in
she had a
today's
pretty tasty. She
dollars.
just got greedy. She should have stopped at like death number 5 or something.
Right? But it's like taking out life insurance on your grandkids and shit
That
too.
part's fucked up.
That
A husband, I get it, but the grandkids is what gets me.
it's true. It's true. But yeah, so that's the giggling granny. Again, nothing like about her being insane and giggling,
I
but
didn't hear one giggle in that story.
it was very funny about it at all.
Took her really. Interesting. Okay.
Mhm. All right, well, it's your turn.
I
Let's.
know we gotta switch my notes over here.
Oh, yeah, I pulled it up.
Well, oh, does it go? Oh, there it is.
It does. Mm, nope. Yep. And if it's easier, you can put it out here.
That might be. Ah, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
The
What is your problem?
I don't know. My brain's not computing with what I'm seeing.
Don't look here. The camera's right
Okay, that's
there.
what's throwing me off. Okay.
Just what are you planning on watching yourself the whole time?
I don't know, but I'm like, I'm sideways, but I'm not.
You're not.
Okay. So today, I'm going to be covering notorious Russian serial killer. Any guesses? But I already told you what his name is.
Pichushkin?
Pichushkin.
No.
Alexander Pichushkin. But he may more commonly be known as the Bitsa Park Maniac or the Chessboard Killer.
Again, I've
Never heard of him. Okay. So Alexander was born on April 9th, 1974 in Moscow, Russia, where he lived in an apartment with his mom, his sister, the sister's husband, and then their child.
Oh God.
Yes. Lots of people in a tiny apartment.
That's a nightmare.
He was a pretty standard kid, but he did fall off a swing when he was young, and it like swung out, and then it hit him in the forehead, causing a frontal lobe damage.
I was gonna say there's some head injury there,
Exactly,
right?
which
Yeah.
is usually a pretty standard precursor for all of our serial killers.
Huh.
So after that incident, his behavior started to change. He became more hostile, more aggressive,
Oh.
more impulsive. He started being bullied at school, and people often called him, quote, that retard.
Oh.
No.
Kids are the worst.
I know. So his mom decided to pull him from that school and enrolled him in a school for kids with learning disabilities.
A special school.
I don't know if he had a learning disability.
Well, I mean, the head trauma.
Yeah. So his moms viewed him as troubled, and thought he was struggling intellectually, just like the kids at his school that were bullying him. But his grandpa got to hang out with him and noticed that he was extremely intelligent.
Okay.
And that just kind of no one was giving him what he needed in order to like be successful.
Okay.
So, Alexander's grandpa ended up taking like custody of him,
Oh.
and he enrolled him in like chess matches.
Sure.
Because he's like, you're really smart. You just need to like try or do like channel that
Find
intelligence.
something that you
And
like.
he's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you something that will challenge you, and chess would be perfect for that. So his grandpa taught him how to play. Alexander was a very quick study of it. He
Sure.
started playing in Bitsa Park, which is a park in Russia that was like right around the corner from his apartment.
Okay.
With like old men, like in all the movies
Oh, sure.
and TV shows. That's who he would play. He was doing really well up until his grandpa died, and he
Oh,
started to spiral because then he had to go back to living with his mom. He didn't really have that like person that was rooting for him anymore. So
sure.
he started to get like really emotionally just drained and wasn't doing as well as he once was.
Okay, yeah.
So he wanted to dull the pain of losing his grandpa, who was very near and dear to him. So he started drinking,
Sure.
and because it's Russia, he started drinking vodka.
Okay.
Um, he continued going to Bitsa Park and playing chess while intoxicated, but he was so good at chess that him being drunk really had no negative effects on his game. He was still able to like beat all these older men. And then he also started doing really strange and aggressive things to children at this time. Um,
Explain.
so he always had a video camera on him,
Okay,
and he
that's
would walk around, and if he
questionable.
found a child, he would mess with them. So like there was one specific incident where he held okay, I think Michael Jackson. He held a young child up by his leg
Oh,
upside down.
yeah.
And he like was recording him while doing this, and he said, quote, "You are in my power now. I'm gonna drop you from the window, and you will fall 15 meters to your death," end quote. And then he would like rewatch these videos of him terrorizing children over and over to like get this like power trip to make
Oh,
himself feel big and strong.
wow.
So that's his mindset.
Okay. Man, Grandpa dying really like did
It
a
fucked him up,
number.
yeah. So when Alexander was 18, he made a friend named Mikhail Odachuk. And all of these names are very Russian. It gets worse as I go on, so
Okay.
bear with me.
Apologies in advance.
So they both had similar interests, Alexander and Mikhail,
Chess and
and
torturing children.
murder.
Oh,
So the two of them together conspired and they came up with a plan that they were going to go to Bitsa Park and just kill as many people as they could.
oh, lovely.
So on July 27th, 1992, the two met up at the park in order to start their killing spree, but Mikhail backed out and said, "Hey, like, I don't actually want to be involved anymore." And that enraged Alexander. And so he ended up strangling Mikhail and throwing his body down into the sewer.
Oh,
Yeah, and then Mikhail was gone.
this is where my fear of disappointment like stems from. Just if I disappoint someone, they're
You
gonna
think they're gonna strangle you and throw you down a sewer?
maybe you never
It
know.
is true, maybe. So Mikhail never returned home. So, and he was 18. So, someone called the cops, and the police learned that Mikhail was last seen walking around the park with Alexander.
Oh, great.
So, 3 days later, they ended up arresting Alexander.
Okay.
And they were talking to him. They're like, "Hey, we have this intel that you were last seen with him. Like, what
Hmm.
do you have to say for yourself?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was definitely with him. We were walking around, but then I left and he stayed. Like, I don't know what happened to him after that." And because the police didn't have any evidence, they had to
Okay.
let him go.
Sure.
Um, so this was in 1992, and then Alexander kind of stopped killing for a while up until 2001.
Oh, that's actually a big break.
It is. Um, so on May 17th, 2001, Alexander was at the park playing chess with a 52-year-old named Yevgeny Pronin. And once their game was finished, Alexander was like, "Hey, let's go walk in the park. My dog's buried in the park. Like, let's go to his grave. And we can like go fucking reminisce about my dog." And
Did he
so
win or lose the match?
I don't know. So Yevgeny was like, "Sure, let's fucking go." So the two of them walked deep into the park. And then once they got to an area, I don't know, it's unknown if one, if he had a dog, two, if there was a dog actually buried in the park or if that was just like his ruse.
Uh-huh.
But once they got there, the two poured some vodka, they cheered his dead alleged dog. And then Alexander bashed Yevgeny in the back of the head with a vodka bottle.
Nice.
Indeed. Um, this park, which is about 6.2 miles from north to south,
Oh,
and
okay.
covers an area of 6.9 square miles.
That's a big
It's a big
park.
park. So there were many sewer entrances and manholes that opened up and closed, which is
Mm.
why last night, if you recall,
You said remember the ring.
we were watching The Ring, and remember how it like opened and closed?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I picture.
Oh,
It was like
okay.
these holes that had manhole coverings, and he would just
Sure.
like shove people down into them.
How convenient.
And this man was the same. He got shoved into it.
Oh, okay.
Um, So Alexander kind of continued this tradition of finding older men or mostly homeless men or people that, wouldn't really be missed.
Sure.
And his MO was basically befriending them, going on to a walk in the park with them, having some alcohol, and then bashing them into the back of the head with either a hammer or a vodka bottle. And then he would either shove sticks or the broken bottles into the back of their heads as
Oh,
like a final like
make sure you're really
yeah,
dead
and then he would like chuck them into the
into
into the
the.
sewer.
Okay. Oh my God.
Um,
It's like so much work.
I
Are the
know.
vodka bottles empty or is he wasting all that vodka?
I don't know. I don't know how much of it he's actually drinking.
Mm.
So not all of the men that he was bashing in the back of the head and throwing into the sewers actually immediately died.
Oh.
He had a really bad habit of not checking to make sure someone was dead before
Oh.
he yeeted them. So between May 2001 and September 2005,
Oh.
Alexander attacked 36 men and he killed 33 of them.
Holy shit.
Yes,
So, but three of them
they
survived?
did.
Ooh.
So most of these bodies were going unfound, and there wasn't a lot of coverage on this like mass amount of missing persons because again, these people were homeless. They're not
Mhm.
really being noticed.
Right.
And because he's throwing the bodies into the sewer, no one knows that murders have been taking
Yeah, because
place.
they're not finding bodies.
Exactly. So no one really police were not like on high alert because they had no idea.
Sure.
On October 15th, 2005, the body of 31-year-old Nikolai Voroyev was found in the park.
Sure.
Nikolai had extensive head injuries and a bottle of vodka sticking out of the back of his head. And this was the first body that was left out in the park to be found.
Oh, okay.
So when police arrived, they're like, oh, this seems really strange. Like, that's when they kind of got their antennas up.
Okay.
A man named Dennis Alkamenko was one of the first officers on scene, and he was horrified by what he saw.
Yeah.
1 month later, the body of a former police officer, Nikolai Zarenchenko, was found in plain sight in the park as well. So investigators believe that the killer was kind of like very brazen,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Oh, he's leaving these bodies out because he wants them to be found or he wants to get caught." Again, at this
Right.
time they didn't know about all the other bodies.
Yeah.
But so they're just going off of the two bodies that they found.
Hmm.
And they're like, "This is a little suspicious."
Sure.
By Christmas, so a little over 2 months after these first two bodies had been
Okay.
found, a total of 7 bodies were found in the
Oh, it
park.
was busy.
And they all had severe head injuries and either sticks or vodka bottles in the back of their head.
Wow.
So at this point, the police knew they were dealing with a serial killer. So they reached out to the Moscow Murder Squad to help.
There's a murder
There's a
squad.
murder squad. They are made up of detectives and forensics and all this stuff, and they specialize in gruesome and violent crimes.
Okay.
So they took over the investigation in February 2006. So at this point, the story had been picked up by local reporters and the press, but police have zero leads because they're kind of coming into it way after the fact.
Yeah.
So forensics went over each crime scene and they weren't able to find anything. They couldn't find fingerprints, they couldn't find DNA,
Mm.
nothing that was like giving them an edge into this investigation. So after a couple weeks, police were able to make a connection. They realized that there was a psychiatric sanitarium,
A mental
a
hospital.
mental hospital.
Oh, okay.
But that's what they called it there.
Yeah.
Like right on the outskirt of Bitsa Park. Then they learned that a lot of the residents there had day passes in which they could leave and they were allowed to go walk the park
Hmm.
and then come back as long as they were back by a certain time. So they're like, that's fucking weird. We're gonna do like a covert operation. So a whole bunch of police officers went undercover at the park and they're like, we're just gonna stop anyone and everyone who looks suspicious and like try to ID them, try to figure out what they're
Sure.
doing there, try to figure out are they a part of this mental institution. So they found one woman, they called out to her, and she like was ignoring them.
Okay.
And they're like, that's weird. So they like went after her, and then they found out that she was a he,
Oh,
and he was just like dressed head to toe in women's clothing.
sure.
And then in his purse, they found a hammer.
Oh.
And they're like, this is fucking weird. They were weirded out, one, because he was dressed as a woman.
Sure.
But then also that
The whole
he
hammer
is in a
thing.
park and is carrying a hammer,
Mhm.
and these victims could have been killed with a hammer.
True. Okay.
So they questioned him and they found out that He just keeps a hammer on him for self-defense because he's dressed like a woman, and this is the early 2000s, and it wasn't super common in Russia for that to be accepted.
Got it.
So they didn't find any further evidence, so they ended up letting him go. It was a dead end.
Okay.
On April 12th, 2006, the body of 48-year-old Larissa Kulinga was found in the park with the same wound, same signature stuck in the back of the head.
But a
But this was
woman.
the first woman that they found.
Okay.
So detectives were trying to figure out, is this the same person who is now switched to women, or is this like a copycat kill or something like that?
Yeah.
On June 14th, 2006, another female body was found.
Real quick,
Yes.
so far, do we know if any of these people are like the hospital patients that like
That
disappeared?
led to absolutely nothing.
Okay, good. When you said that, I'm like, oh my God, are they all like taking their day passes and he's murdering all of these?
No, it was a cool lead, but no,
Okay.
they were all fine.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay, continue.
Okay, so June 14th, another female body was found, the second one. They didn't initially know who the woman was, but they searched like her coat pockets,
Mm-hmm.
and they found a metro station ticket, a train ticket.
Oh, okay.
So they went through all of the metro surveillance to see if they can find the woman, see if she was walking with anyone,
Yeah.
anything like that. They did find her, and they found her walking alongside a man. 2 days later, after discovering Marina, that was her name, her son was called in to identify the body. I don't know how old her son is, but I get the feeling that he's very young.
Oh no.
I know. So he was able to positively ID his mom's body. And he's like, hey, by the way, my mom left me a note at home saying, hey, I'm going on a walk with Sasha, and left his phone number.
Who's Sasha?
That exactly. So, when Marina didn't come home, the boy saw the note and called Sasha because his
Mhm.
number was listed. And he's like, "Hey, do you know where my mom is? Like, she said she
Yeah.
was with you. I can't find her." And then the man on the phone, presumably Sasha, denied having ever seen his mom. Didn't know who she was. And so the son's like, that's fucking weird. Like, she
Yeah.
wouldn't lie. So he told his dad, and his dad's like, that's fucking weird. So the two of them went to the police together.
Okay.
Police confirmed that the man Marina had gone on a walk with was her coworker named Alexander Pichushkin.
Oh.
And I guess in Russia, Sasha is a common nickname for Alexander. I don't know how.
I don't understand how a lot of that
So
works.
they're like, that's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so 2 days after finding Marina's body on June 16th, 2006,
Okay.
Alexander was arrested for her murder.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like in Russia, they like arrest people without like instead of first detaining them. I don't know. But in this case it worked because this is the second time he's been arrested technically.
Oh,
He was arrested
okay.
the first time for his friend's murder, which there was zero evidence.
Got it.
But anyway, so he initially claimed, I didn't have anything to do with this. I don't know who this woman is, blah, blah, blah. But only a few hours later, he's like, yeah, you're right. It was me. I killed her. But he's like, I didn't just kill her. I killed 61 people
61
over the past 14 years.
Oh my God.
So police are like, cool, cool, cool. We're gonna get a search warrant. So they got a search warrant. They searched his home and they found this chessboard, which I'll post in here.
Okay.
And so a chessboard has 64 squares on it.
Mhm.
61 of the 64 squares had a number associated with it.
Okay.
They also found a hammer with like plastic in the handle, and it had deep scratches in it. And forensics were able to find at one of the scenes like plastic particles, and they were able to positively identify or match the two of them.
Wow.
So they're like, cool. We have this weird chessboard. We have a matching murder hammer. Like, this is definitely our guy.
Okay.
Alexander was like, yeah, I'm going to tell you everything. He was extremely talkative. He went into great detail about all of his murders, all of his victims. He had actually a very good memory about each one specifically. And he's
Oh.
like, even better, I'll fucking take you to the sites. So the like DA basically and the investigators were like, fine. So they recorded him.
Mhm.
They all went to the park together. He was handcuffed to like a police officer, so
Yeah.
he wouldn't escape. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be that police officer.
No.
And he literally went through it. They gave him like a plastic hammer and they brought dummies and he went through each location, showed how he killed each person, the kinds of things that he remembered about each individual,
Oh my
how he disposed of
God.
their body. He was very like blasé about it. Um And then he had claimed that deciding whether or not he should kill somebody made him feel like God. And he was quoted as saying, quote, "In all cases, I killed for only one reason. I killed in order to live because when you kill, you want to live. For me, life without murder is like life without food for you. I felt like the father of all these people since it was me who opened the door for them to another world," end quote.
Man, that swing accident really took a toll on this
Yeah, he was,
guy.
and like
Like,
it was kind of shown in the beginning with him torturing basically children. He
yes.
like was on this big power trip, so killing all of these people who
Massive
had
God,
zero,
God complex, yes.
suspect of him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, made him feel like God. So he actually explained while doing his show and tell at the park about how he killed a 41 or 40-year-old homeless man on January 18th, 2022, by pushing him over a balcony.
2022. So, oh my God, I didn't realize how recently we
2002.
Oh, okay. I'm
Sorry.
like, wow, we had a
So,
massive
we're
time
in
jump.
2006. He was
That makes
recalling,
more sense.
sorry, he was recalling a murder he did. And police are like, I remember that. That was ruled as a suicide. Like they had no idea that Alexander was the
Involved.
perpetrator. So he's
Okay.
like ratting on himself, telling them all these different murders that they didn't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
He then took investigators to the scene of where he killed 36-year-old man from St. Petersburg and left his body out in the woods. But it was a little bit more secluded,
Mm-hmm.
so that body was never initially found.
Oh.
When they got there, all that was left was like a few bones.
Oh,
But he's
wow.
like, obviously, this is the dude I killed. You guys just didn't find him. So that was Alexander's 15th victim.
Jeez.
And then during his confession, oh, I already mentioned that. So Alexander, to this point, had confessed to 61 murders.
Wow.
So police were trying to find victims to match because they had found some, the obvious ones, but some of them, or most of them, that were like thrown in the sewer, they weren't like able to be found. So he's trying to like substantiate his story, or is he just like grandstanding?
Mm-hmm.
And they found that during their investigation, multiple people had survived these attacks,
Mm.
and come forward, but each time nothing was done.
Oh, okay.
So the ones that got away. So on February 23rd, 2002, workers at a local hospital were called when a pregnant woman came in with some pretty horrific injuries and a very crazy story.
Okay.
So the woman was named Maria Verichiva, and she explained to the nurse and the cops that were called the following story. She had just broken up with her boyfriend. She was very upset. And she was very worried because she's like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, like all this stuff. So she had taken the metro and she was crying at the train station
Okay.
because she's upset. And this man comes up to her and he goes, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, this is what happened." And he's like, "That sucks. Do you want a drink?" And she's like, "Absolutely." He's like, "Cool,
Bitch,
here's
you're
some vodka."
pregnant.
Whatever. And then somehow he's like, "I have cameras. Like, do you want to buy one?" And she's like, "Sure." And he's like, "Okay, they're in the woods." And she said, "Okay." This bitch has no survival instincts whatsoever.
Okay. I am disappointed already.
So the two of them walk into the park, and he's like, "Oh, my cameras are kept in the sewer over here. Like, go look." And she's like, "Okay."
What the
So as she leans forward to look into the sewer, he pushes her into the sewer. And she's able to like grab on to the inside and kind of hold herself steady. So he takes her hair and then he bashes her head into the side of the sewer multiple times until she finally falls.
Oh my God.
And he's like, "Cool," and he fucking leaves. But she's not dead.
Okay.
She was trapped in there for 20 hours and then finally was able to crawl her way out of the
Oh my
sewer
God.
and then get to a hospital. While at the hospital, she's telling the story. She goes, "The man's name was Alexander Pichushkin. I met him. He introduced himself. Like, you need to go get him." And the cop was like, "I don't want to do that." So he didn't. He did not follow up. He did not question him. He just said, I that's not something I really want to do."
Here's every bit of information you need, and you're just gonna let that fall.
Yep.
Okay.
So they never investigated it. And she was just sent home on her merry way.
Love that. It's because she was a woman.
Probably. 1 month later, on March 10th, 2002, Alexander met and started talking to a teenage boy named
Oh,
Mikhail Lobov. And this is a different
different.
Mikhail than we were talking about earlier.
Common name, I guess.
So the two were at Bitsa Park, and Mikhail decided to follow Alexander on the promise of alcohol and cigarettes.
Okay.
While in a secluded part of the park, Alexander bashed Mikhail over the back of the head and again threw his body into the sewer. Thankfully, Mikhail's jacket had gotten caught on a ragged, like, tree branch inside of the sewer,
Oh.
and it caused him from plummeting to his death. He was able to climb out of the sewer, and he actually found Alexander a couple days later, and he's like, "Bitch, you tried to kill me."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm gonna call the cops on you." And Alexander, I don't know how, he threatened Mikhail, and he said, "No, I'm gonna call the cops on you." And he's like, "Don't do that." And then so he didn't call the fucking cops.
What?
I don't know what he had on this boy, but he's a juvenile, so they're dumb. I don't know.
I bet he's sober for the rest of his life,
I
though.
would hope so. And then the last survivor was Alexander's neighbor named Konstantin Polikarpov. So Alexander, per usual, decided hit him in the back of the head, push him in the sewer. Again, did not check to make sure this man was dead. You'd think he would caught on by now, but he didn't.
Okay.
So he was able to survive the fall, but he had such extensive head trauma that he didn't remember any details. He didn't
Oh,
remember who did
no.
it, who he was with, exactly what happened. So he was unable to report it.
Okay.
If police had seriously investigated any one of these, they would have been able to stop many, many, like dozens more
Yeah.
murders, especially if they would have listened to Maria, but they didn't. So that's on them. So Alexander was ultimately charged with 48 counts of murder
Holy
and
shit.
3 counts of attempted murder for those three individuals.
Wow.
During his trial, he showed zero remorse, and he was kept in a glass cage for everyone's safety, very like Hannibal
Yeah.
Lecter-esque.
Like an animal. Speaking of animals.
He was very upset that he was only being charged with 48 counts.
Oh, he wanted recognition for all of them.
He's like, you guys are forgetting about 11 people. Like, charge me with 59, anywhere between 59 and 64. It's very, there's like varying, reports of what happened.
Sure.
But he was pissed. He's like, I killed more people. I'm telling you, you guys aren't doing your job.
Give me more credit.
Yes. So when asked why he had killed all these people, he said he wanted to surpass his idol, who was another Russian serial killer named Andrei Chikatilo. Have you ever heard of him?
Nope.
I had heard of him before, who killed 52 women.
Oh.
Or 52 victims, I should say. So, Alexander's goal was to kill at least 64 people. He wanted to fill a chessboard, which is how he got that name.
Only got 48.
And he allegedly, legally, only got 48.
Yeah, okay.
And then he said many times that he would have continued killing people even when he got to 64 until he was stopped.
Oh.
After only 3 hours of deliberation, the jury found him guilty on all counts, and the judge sentenced him to life in prison at the Arctic penal colony Polar Owl. And then the terms were Alexander had to spend the first 15 years in solitary confinement.
Oh my God.
Alexander, who had no issues during the entire trial, demanding the prosecution charge him with additional 11 people, was like, no, that's too harsh. Like, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Yeah, I killed like 69 people or whatever, but I don't want that.
Did he think he would get brownie points?
He said, "I'll do 25."
Oh, because it's a negotiation. No,
Like, no, you won't.
you have no say in this.
So they basically told him to go fuck himself. And then shortly after his incarceration, he got a pen pal.
Uh-oh.
And it was a secret admirer, if you will. Her name was Natalia, and she was a 22-year-old shop worker from Central Russia. In 2014, the two got engaged.
Oh.
And Natalia told the world just how in love they were and that she wanted to have his babies. She's like, I don't know, we might have to get like a surrogate or something because we can't have conjugal visits because he's in solitary confinement. And she was like on like tabloids and like wedding dress. Like she was wedding dress shopping.
Oh, so she's
fucking
crazy.
Yeah. They may have gotten married. I'm not sure.
Oh my God.
But lastly, on April 5th of this year, 2025,
Okay.
Alexander reached out to prison staff and he's like, "Hey, I feel like confessing again. Like I really need to tell somebody about these 11 murders that I did. So he's like, please, someone come talk to me about these 11 murders, which are the ones that police weren't able to substantiate before the
Gotcha.
trial.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we're at today. No one's actually reached out to him
Wow.
yet, but that is Alexander Pichushkin.
I've never heard of him at all. I kept expecting you to say pachinko instead of Pichushkin.
Yes,
And yeah, interesting.
indeed.
Yeah, and I really think it was the childhood incident that really kickstarted it.
Most
It
of it,
struck
that
something
that head
loose.
trauma, yeah. So if your child gets a frontal lobe injury when they're young, fucking
Watch
brace
out.
yourself.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I had not heard of him before.
So what are you going to cover on the next episode?
Oh,
You
fucking
do,
no.
because we recorded it
Oh,
yesterday.
that's right. The Lost Colony of Roanoke.
There you go.
Man, even after this is all published, I still won't understand the order of everything.
That's okay.
Ooh, anywho, if you would like to reach out to us on our various social media platforms, feel free to do so. We have pretty much all of them. You can also send us an email at cracked sistersconspiracies@gmail.com. And yeah, with that, I'm going to say stay cracked, y'all.
And have a great day.